Hello and welcome, my name is Kyle for the win and welcome to another Call of Duty Modern Warfare video. In this video we are doing another map guide here within the game, and in this video we are covering the map called Hackney Yard. As you can see, this is the overview of the map. It is a very small map. This was of course the beta map within the game, or one of the beta maps within the game. And of course, like with the other maps, there's a route to our left, there's a route to our right, and there's a route in the middle of the map as well. So we're going to cover all of the routes here in the map, some of the sight lines, and all sorts of stuff like that, like I've done with all of these other videos. And if you have missed any of my other previous ones, I will leave those down below in the description for you guys to check out, as well as at the end of the video. There's a full playlist with all the maps, and let's go ahead and jump into this. So the first thing that I want to cover here is that the coalition spawn is right over here on this side of the map. This is the back side of the map. And here is actually an entrance point. So if you're playing Domination, don't run here like I always do every single time I play it. Go ahead and just run behind you, run through here, go through these doors, and the A flag will be right here. This is a pretty unpopular part of the map, in all honesty. This can get popular if you're getting spawn trapped or stuff isn't going very well for you guys as a team. But this is a really good place actually to call in a kill streak behind here, because I don't think I've ever seen someone here one time. Every time I played this map, I don't think I've ever seen somebody back here, which is great because it's basically protects you from pretty much everywhere. So this is a great place to call in a streak or hang out. If you are being spawn trapped, you can mount on here, kill enemies that are up there, camping on that window, or enemies over there. So it's a great place to be in. Next, if we climb up here, which you can actually do, this is a little building where you can kind of hang out in, I guess, if you want to call in a streak or something. This is right below the A objective. And I have seen people hang out in here before if they're camping. And this is kind of a nice little site right here. This window is open, it has no glass on it, and you can actually completely move your body out, get lines of sight down there, and up there, and even over there, and maybe if you're lucky, and depending on where the enemy is standing, on that head glitch over there. So this is a really nice spot to be if you are being spawn trapped on this map, or if you just want to get a line of sight to enemies over there. As you can see, I went over a little too far, but it's a very nice spot to be on if you want to. But be careful, because enemies can come up these stairs and kill you right there, and you make yourself pretty vulnerable. Obviously, if I'm going to be poking myself way out of the window, like 90% of my body is going to be showing, so just don't spend too much time in here. Maybe kill that enemy over there and run back in. So that would be a little bit of an effective strategy. So let's go ahead and talk about the right side of the map, or the left side of the map, sorry, first, because it is probably the most popular part of the map. And for every mode I've played, Domination, TDM, all of them, this is the most popular part of the map. So if you're standing here, be careful, because enemies will spawn over there. But if you're standing right here, you can be shot from there and down there. Those doors actually open, and I apologize for that, but and you can be shot from up here. So this is kind of a place you wouldn't want to spend too much time, because enemies can actually head glitch behind that car and that police car right there. So just run right through here, get to this cover point right here, because now you negate all of the ability to be shot from your right side. So it's a really nice spot to be in. You can kill the enemies that are hanging out up there, and you can mount your gun here and take out enemies that are over there, and if you're lucky, in that window and over there. So this is a nice little spot to be in if you want to get over to this main building of the map, which is definitely this building and that building over there are the main parts of the map. So we'll start with going up top on this map. So lots of people like to actually hang out here. So if you're coming from the Allegiance side, you can easily kill enemies that are just camping here and not really moving at all. So it's a great spot to be in, and because it gives you an overview of enemies down there and over there, as well as it gives you an overview of people maybe capturing B. You can throw your grenade over there, and you throw your flashbang over there, whatever it might be, and get those enemies down over at B. And you can get those enemies right there, and there that might be camping up there as well. So this is a really good spot as well, but again, it makes you pretty vulnerable, because you can shoot the people down there, they can also shoot back. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 routes to be shot from if you're standing up here, if the enemies aren't spawning behind you, or if your teammates aren't spawning behind you, sorry. So this is a risky spot, but it is a very rewarding spot if you play it correctly. So this is kind of a nice little vertical spot of the map to get enemies that are just kind of hanging around this building as well. So another nice little spot is up here. You can mount on this and actually get a view of people that are coming from there. and coming from there, which people love to do because this is kind of the main route that people like to run through on the map. You can also get lines of sight to people camping up there, over there, up on that little metal roof right there, and down on that head glitch right there. So it's a pretty nice spot, and you can also take enemies that might be moving down below you as well. So this is a really important part of the map to be in, especially if you're playing domination, because the B flag is right there. So you can pretty much just defend all of the flags just from here in this area. Here is a popular camping spot as well, especially if you're trying to defend B, but just throw your grenades, throw your explosives in here, get rid of that camper. I've probably thrown a ton of C4s in here and killed enemies that are just hanging out here, camping and not really doing much. Now this door can also open as well, so what I recommend you do is that you actually close this if you're capturing B, because if you're capturing B, then you can definitely hear an enemy coming through that doorway, so you can just pick him out nice and easily as well. So this is a very important building to the map as well. Just be careful about being in here, because a lot of enemies will be hanging out in here, and it makes you very vulnerable to get shot from many angles. And another nice little thing that you could do is you can jump from here to here and jump from here to here, and then you can get a line of sight on people coming from there, and people will not know that you're here, and then they'll just walk right through this doorway. So this is actually a really effective place, and I actually spend a lot of my time on the map here on this little red shipping crate, because enemies will not see you. And another thing you can do as well is you can actually jump and mount mantle up here, and it just gives you a nice little easy shot to the enemies, so you don't even have to go all the way around, which I will cover in a minute. You can actually just jump from there to here, which is really effective actually. And if you're here, you can actually take out a lot of enemies that like to camp in there, enemies that are spawning over there, because that is a very popular spawn point. And you can take out enemies that are camping up here, because people love to camp on the roof. One tip I can give you on this map is just keep your eyes above you. Keep your gun above you. Make sure you're not just looking forward, because enemies will be up there and will be camping up there. So this is another little route here. If you're running from this way and you come here, be careful, because enemies can head glitch along all of this brick wall, as well as they can come through there, camp in that window. So just be careful if you're going to be standing here, because enemies will be able to get shots at you if you're standing here. So just be really careful if you're coming here. This is probably more of a route to just kind of get over here to this little building, but be careful, because you can get shot from the side very easily while doing that route, because enemies do like to hang out down there as well. So now that we have this main building covered, let's go ahead and make a big old turn or big old loop around all the way to the other side of the map, and then we'll cover the middle. So this is where the allegiance will spawn and the C objective is. So if you're doing very well and you're spawn trapping enemies, they will spawn here, and they will consistently spawn here. So that is, you know, this is a nice little spot to be in. But if you are spawning here, you can mount here and kill enemies that are down there, because that is a little hallway as well, which, so if you're up there, be careful about people below you as well, but you can take out enemies down there, up there, and over there as well. So that's really cool. And if you want to come up here, you can also sit on the car and take out enemies over there if you're being spawn trapped. So really nice little spot here. This is another building that people don't spend a ton of time in, but people do like to hang out here. I haven't really seen it ever in domination, but in modes like TDM and free-for-all, enemies like to spend a lot of time here. So being in this position, you can take out enemies that are there, down there, over there, and on that little metal roof area over there, and even enemies over there. So it's a nice little building if you are being spawn trapped. But again, I wouldn't spend too much time in this building, that building, or the other building back there, and the other building over there. So you don't want to spend too much time in the back of the map, because you just won't find that much action. Now, another little sneaky thing you can do is, if someone's hanging up here, is you can actually mantle up here and run, and I think you can make it up there. I have honestly never... I tried it in a match and it didn't really work, but maybe if you super sprint, no, unfortunately I don't think you can actually mantle up there. But if an enemy is up here and they're kind of just hanging out, you can maybe throw your grenade up there and maybe take them out if they're kind of sitting in this window. Here is, again, a building I wouldn't spend too much time, and this is where the C objective is in domination. Pardon me, there's 3 different doorways here. Just be really careful if you're going to be in this building. I mean, and honestly, I wouldn't recommend spending a lot of time here anyways. There's just not much going on here, in all honesty. But what you can do is you can get access to the roof from here. I mean, it's a super easy path to the roof. All you have to do is just go through that window right here, and then bam, you're on the roof, which means you can take out enemies that are all across that area, enemies that are there, enemies that are there, and enemies that are down there. So this is kind of a nasty, cheap little spot, but you can take out enemies from pretty much everywhere, even running down there. It's a really overpowered spot, but be careful, because again, just because you're standing up here doesn't mean that you're completely safe. You're very, very vulnerable standing up here as well. So the great part about some of these maps is that if you're going to be playing on these really vertical high positions, you're also very vulnerable. So it's very easy for you to get shot up here from many angles. As I said when I was covering that building over there, just because you can kill enemies here means that there's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different, 9, 10 different routes to get shot from. So being up here is dangerous, but it can pay off for you very well if you have maybe a sniper, an assault rifle, something like that. So very, very effective area here. You can also go over here and jump over here as well and take out enemies that are head glitching there, camping in this building, camping over there. But again, as I said, there's always a trade-off. You can also get shot from that many angles as well. So honestly, don't spend too much time on these roofs. If you want to spend time on these roofs, just be aware that you will be getting shot from a lot of angles, because enemies will see you. So now let's go ahead and head down here. This is just a spawn point, not really super busy part of the map, but if you are being spawn trapped and there's enemies that are camping over there, you can run to this truck, mount on it, and kill enemies over there. So it's super simple. Just be careful about when you're coming through here, because if I'm standing right here, I can get shot from up there, and up there, and as well as over there. So honestly, this is kind of another one of those spots where you should be careful running through here, but I would not spend too much time here. So what I would do is I would run through here, maybe mount on here, take out that enemy's head glitching, keep your sights up, kill enemies up there, continue keeping your sights up, check that corner, and kill enemies up there, and then continue moving through this area. So if enemies don't come this way, this is a nice little head glitch area. You can head glitch on here, take out enemies that are down below you, as well as up there. And you can also mantle over here and give you nice little access to the other side of the map, which is great news. But again, people can also come up and do that from the other side of the map too. So it's a nice little area to get to the other side, from one side of the map to the other. Now if we run through here, this is another extremely popular building. You can open this door and take out enemies that are spawning over there. A really effective area. Again, we'll cover the middle here in a minute, but I just want to cover out the outside edges of the map, because the outside edges are the most important part of a map whenever you play it, because that's where you have the least amount of routes to get shot from. So once again, you can run through here. Be careful, because there's always claymores there, or up on these stairs. So if you don't have EOD, or you don't have the spotter perk, then you might be destroyed by claymore. So just be really careful. I would never recommend that you just sprint up these stairs, because odds are someone's either camping doing this, playing really cheap, or there's a claymore like right here, and then you'll just run through it and blow yourself up, and that's not fun. So if you're gonna run through here, be really careful. Check the ground for claymores, check for claymores on the stairs, and check for enemies, because I've seen more enemies than I can count on my two hands sitting here doing this, being super boring, and just camping this building because they're scared. So just be really careful when you're running through here. Be aware for claymores, and take out the enemy that's camping up here. Now if you're up here, this is a good spot if you're actually trying to defend defend your spawn, or they're spawning over here. You can take out enemies that are over there where I was earlier, and you can take out enemies that are hanging out on here, and even up there. So it's a pretty good spot to check out the A objective and this spawn point. You can get a lot of kills hanging out here. So once again, here's a building. Again, if you're gonna just run through here, be really careful, because people will camp in this corner, people will camp in this corner over here, and people will camp even in this corner. So just be really careful coming through here. People love to camp this building. It's boring, I know, but people love doing it. So just be careful when you're coming through this building. Now over here, this is a nice little overview of that spawn over by C, and over here. As I said, this is a very effective spot to be in. You can take out enemies from over there, and it's just a good overall spot. And you can run all the way around if you want to, and take out enemies here. So if you come through this door as well, you can once again take out enemies that are spawning down there, over there, and up there. So it's again a very nice little spot to be in. And I don't recommend spending a ton of time in this building, but if you want to, then obviously you can. It's a very good spot as well. So now that this is all covered, again, enemies can come through here, kill you pretty easily, and if you actually sit here, you can actually mantle up on this and go over here and take out enemies over by A. So it's a really nice kind of interesting little spot here. I don't know if a lot of people know that you can actually jump up on the trash can and get over here, so it's a pretty nice little area. Once again, this is another area where there's another spawn point right here. Don't spend too much time here as well. You'll probably get yourself killed, and that's really not fun. So if you do spawn here, I would either just climb up on here, try and take out enemies, or you just run the heck away. Try and go over here as quickly as you can. Again, another thing to be aware of, people like camping behind this forklift. So if you're coming from over there facing this direction, be aware that people will be camping behind this forklift as well. And last but not least, let's cover this last building, and then we'll cover the middle of the map. And this building is pretty much useless. I've rarely seen enemies here, but because this is Modern Warfare, people do like camping here, so just be careful. This is actually a good spot if you're spawning at A and you're just getting annoyed with people spawn trapping. You can actually come here and take out the enemy that might be up there in that window, or enemies in that window. So it's a pretty effective spot if you are being spawn trapped on A, but people don't spend too much time here, so I wouldn't recommend that you hang out here too often. But that is both the left side and the right side of the map, and now let's go ahead and cover the middle of the map. So once we're in the middle of the map here, this is a place you never want to be in, because if you run through here, you can get shot from way too many angles. You can get shot from there, you can get shot from up there, you can get shot from back there, and you can get shot from... Actually, you can't get shot from up there, so this is actually kind of this isn't a terrible spot to be in, because you kind of negate that verticality from being shot from, so it's a nice little spot to be in, but just make sure you run through here. You don't want to spend too much time in the middle of the map. You just don't. There's too many ways to get shot from. If you're going to be spending in the middle, either go for that door right there or come up here. It's just your best bet if you don't want to get shot from 100 different angles. Again, the middle of the map right here is bad. You never, ever, ever want to stand here unless you're coming from that window, but coming from that door, sorry. So you just never want to stand here, because now you're just putting yourself in a completely horrible position. You can get shot from behind you, there, and even back there. So just not a good spot to be in. You don't want to be here ever. But this is right here is a really nice spot to be in, especially if they're spawning over there. You can just kind of hang out here and kill enemies that are coming through this way. It's really, really a nice area to be in. But that is pretty much it. I mean, these map guides are pretty long, and I apologize for the length, but there's so much to cover on these maps. If this was like Black Ops 2, or if this was a different Call of Duty game with 3-lane maps, this video would be over already. But because there's so many different routes, so many different sight lines, I want to make sure I cover everything in as much detail as possible to help you guys out, because these videos you guys have said that these videos have been helping you. So I really appreciate that you guys have been enjoying these videos and that they've been helping you out. As I said before, a lot of the problems with Modern Warfare are the maps. People don't really have problems with the gameplay itself. They have some obviously problems with the campers, but for the most part, people are not liking the maps that much. This is probably one of the best maps in the game. I'll cover another map called Gunrunner tomorrow, which is an even better map in my opinion, but this is a great map as well, and hopefully this guide helped you as well. Just like my other videos, if they helped you as well, showing your support is always appreciated, and you guys have shown an insane amount of support on all of them, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. If you guys, as I said, have missed any of my other previous, there will be a playlist at the end of the video for you guys to check out, and if you have missed any of my other Modern Warfare videos, which are multiplayer videos, I had a video yesterday talking about the DLC within the game, which is really exciting stuff. Make sure you check that out as well, and I will see you guys all in another Call of Duty Modern Warfare video very, very soon.